fancy intro music. Yeah! Woohoo!
Welcome back, everybody. Today, I want to take a look at Exocomps real quick, and with the resurgence of Exocomps in value here with January's Arc of the Borg, where we have a new set of Exocomps. We'll take a look at that here in a second to give you a couple of cool notes that we figured out here in the past month that we've talked about on both my channel and Ultimate DJ's Twitch stream. If y'all have not checked out the Twitch channels, then you really should. You're missing out. So we're gonna take a look at Exocomps, kind of go through the value there and kind of rehash it, because this is something that you get access to very early in the game. If you are a new player watching this video right now, which some of you are, you're probably looking at, hey man, this Exocomp system kind of sucks. And honestly, for a teens or 20s player, there's not a ton of value in Exocomps. But if you're consistently building up your building, what you'll find is as you get higher level in the game, the more Exocomps can matter. I'm not saying they're the most amazing thing, but there are particular ones that are really good. So you can see that here on my main account, I've got my Exocomp building up to number 41, level 41. So not even my same level, but still I'm getting, it determines the amount of axionic ships you get daily, the power that it actually registers for you, which doesn't really matter too much, and the Exocomps you have access to. Obviously that latter point being a really big deal. Now you're still going to end up pulling a bunch of stuff that you never need. So for example, you can hit your station one here, and we've got some really small ones that you get with 3-star. I might still have some 2-stars laying around. I do. Like this 20% damage boost that I got way back in the day. That honestly doesn't matter, nor will you ever really need it or use it. You'll just never really see a point in this game where a 20% damage multiplier means anything. However, there are some Exocomps that do have a high value amount. For example, the 4-stars where you start pulling these particularly for each specific ship, but you also have Armada Exocomps that are a really big deal, and the general all-purpose damage for all your ships. Now, these can be a pretty big deal because the game right now, we all love building critical builds. I've been repeating critical builds in my Discord and on stream for a long time, really trying to get players to focus on them. Critical builds being a way to dominate in PvP, PvE, and in Armadas. So we have those there, but let's look at Station Exocomps, the research speed. That can be important for you as you get to higher tiers, 30s, 40s, where things are no longer taking hours or even days, but months and sometimes years to complete. So then 100% research bonus actually does have some value. You have the infinite incursion one, which is one of the few things that's good about infinite incursions. If y'all have never used one of these, and I wish I had one that I could show you because they're not really something you can just grab. Infinite incursions has got an amazing loot Exocomp that everybody really wants. I mean, if you get really nothing else from incursions, you really want the infinite incursion loot Exocomp. But anyway, you've got the multi-purpose, which is a unique one that you can run multiple Exocomps with, and then of course the galaxy ones. Now scroll down real quick here. What I want to take a look at is these two just for a second, the Vidar ones. Now with these having such horrible timers, 10 minutes and 15 minutes, as well as 20 minutes, a trick that both me and DJ have found, and we both have encouraged to our viewers. But for those who haven't seen it, maybe you're on here and you're like, hey, I don't have time to listen to podcasts. I don't have time to come to a live stream. I'm only here for this, 8-10 minute video, which by the way, you're here, like it, I appreciate it. But here's what you can do. If these aren't lasting long enough, but you can do multiple pulls, you see I've got 20 of the 250% saved up. What you can actually do is extend these. So if you were to, I'm gonna actually launch it right now because I don't care, I've got plenty of them. I'm gonna launch this one. What can happen is, one, this wonderful problem, thanks Scopely for this, please fix this. In fact, I'm not gonna edit this out. I'm gonna leave this bug in here because this bug is awful. I'm actually gonna do this. See what happens? Yeah, please fix that, Scopely. Wasting very precious Exocomps, some of these that are difficult to get. I have a few, so I don't really care. But that's really, really awful. Scopely, please fix that. I'm not editing this out. There's a little brief moment of frustration coming through on this video, and I'm gonna leave it in. Gosh dang it, some really good Exocomps have gone to waste because of that. But anyway, when this expires, if prior to it expiring, what you could do, because many of you know that if you are out and about, you can't just turn on a lot of the Exocomps. You need to dock for them to take effect. These Vidar ones in particular are a pretty big deal. What you can do is if there's like 30 seconds left, let it count down while you're still out in the field. You can actually turn it on again and replace it with the exact same Exocomp. So I could actually just go and put the same one here and it will renew the timer and continue going. So I'll just do it right now. You see, bam, we're back to 15 minutes. Now Now, you would actually want to do that when it was down to, say, 1 minute, not when I just did it, but it does work and something you can take advantage of. And I do want to point out a couple of very important exocomps that you can start accessing here in the low 30s, and with the amalgam. Now, we all know that the amalgam refinery itself is pretty trash in that you don't really get any value from it. Pulling here, my amalgam is tier 7. And then you get this officer pull once you've got the amalgam, and this is where we get our value. But truly, it's all terrible. Like, we've been pulling these for over a year. We still can't get even a single ship skin. The draw rates for Honor Guard War for us, absolutely abysmal. Just disgustingly bad. And then you've got these. Now, this is the one thing that actually makes this refinery really, really good that you can access in the early portion of the game. The exocomps for rep grinding. Why do we love those so much? We can see the biggest ones here, the 100%ers, that's where I really love. And I've been using them to grind. In fact, y'all saw me grinding this past week on stream. It's something I've been really going for because I'm trying to get my Pylum. To get the Pylum, I gotta get the rep, and well, I'm only 8.6 million away. I actually was grinding 6-7 million a day pretty easily running that 100% exocomp, and that was actually just in a 1 hour time frame. Had I done it all day, I actually would have gone ahead and completed this, but because I'm notoriously lazy when it comes to grinding, haven't done it just yet, but I will do it this month, and I'm right there. The exocomps help speed that process up. Now, I do want to remind you that you do have research that deals with this as well, which takes away a little bit of the value. So if you come over here, we've got, which one is it? Like the notoriety. So for example, this is a 32% bonus to my Romulan. However, that exocomp, it's 100%, would actually add to this, making 132, which is a significant boost. So you're not getting the pure 100%. It adds to things that you already have. There are a few researches that make it to where you get better value when you're going and using a faction ship to rep grind than if you were to use, say, the ISS Jelly, which is one of the reasons that you'll see myself and other players giving you the comment that don't use the ISS Jelly to rep grind, use your Enterprise, your Augur, your D4, etc. Because of those researches giving you more rep as you go through the grind process and making it overall a better experience. And those are where some of the valuable or the most valuable exocomps start coming in. As you get into 3-star and 4-star, when you've got that exocomp building in the 30s, especially in the low 40s, getting some of these big ones really does change your game for a positive way. And the reason I felt it important to note this is because so many of you have kind of ignored it, understandably, because it doesn't have a lot of value as a low-level player. And one thing that I've really learned in January is that there's so much old content that has good to it, but you really don't see the good until the end. So it can be tough to know, should I really bother with this? I still don't think that most exocomps are any good. Like, most players are not going to bother with turning on the mining exocomp every time they go out. They might do it for Mining Monday or maybe a ticket event, just something to get it done really quickly if you remember them. But once you get into the 40s, you really do want to start relying on exocomps more, simply to add to your gameplay and speed it up. Like, for example, this Ship XP one, super big deal for all those who are out there scrapping. So there are valuable exocomps out there to be had. It's more of leveling into their value. So this video is more to just make sure that you're not forgetting that exocomp building. Just go through, make sure every day we're pulling, we're getting all of these keys, and we're also, if you're doing this particular one, away teams, so that you can source the exocomps needed with the little axionic chip one. Do I not have one? Wow, like the first time ever, I don't have an axionic chip. This video is just like determined on wanting to be edited, but I'm not going to. I'm leaving in the problem, and I'm leaving in the lack of axionic chip away team. But as you're pulling, going through, one other question that gets asked about, to me at least a lot, is the big chest ever worth it? This one can actually go up a grade for you, but to be honest, I generally pull my regular combat one and only pull this if I have enough away teams that have made it to where this is feasible. Definitely want to pull my axionic chip every day, but in terms of the value, you've got a handful of exocomps that have value. What you will notice in this game is, as you level up, get in the 30s and into the 40s, this has more valuable aspects to it, especially when it comes to grinding. So hopefully this video helped you out a little bit. If it did, I ask that you would like the video. And if you have any questions about exocomps or anything in the game, drop the comment down below. And I guess at this point, people would really like a hint with content dropping literally tomorrow. Well, what should I say? It's Borg related. And while there's not a Vidar 8, I mean, there's more things that could come. I mean, we've talked about what are some of the big things we've needed? You know, we've needed, hell, even going back 3 years, we've needed better systems. We've needed better efficiency. Well, we'll get some of that tomorrow. We'll just have to imagine what that could be. Remember, there's no Vidar A. Not a thing. Deuces. Catch you on the next one. Bye.
An even better outro than the intro. For the Empire and glory to your house.